So hi everyone, today in this video we're gonna develop another mental model that can be useful for you. Since I've been said mental models are representations about how the reality works, and as much more you grasp them, higher is the probability of you getting what you want, that is prosperity. Because prosperity requires you to take the decisions that are most kind of fit on the environment that you're present. And for that it requires what? Interpretation about the context that you are, knowledge about understanding what it works or not, and then so for that enters the importance of mental models. Because mental models, they are models, they are patterns that we take from the reality that our brain, so mentally, we can absorb and can so modelize to put in the reality to make so as take certain actions. And then so it's explained the importance of developing knowledge and getting more information about all the mental models existent in the world. But then, so today, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about a specific mental model from economic field that's called the Baumol's cost disease. So, why essential services keep getting pricier? So, what is the Baumol's cost disease? What's like the core idea? So, it was named after economist William explains why labor-intensive sectors like education, healthcare, and arts become more expensive over time without corresponding improvements in quality or productivity. So this tendency, why we think to look for things as getting expensive over the time, because the things evolve and so they become it's more work in the under them, and then so obviously they require more money for the end consumer, so to pay all the work that's put into kind of produce so these type of services. But in that moments they're not explained in certain sectors that do not see that much of evolution over time. And we give an example like education, healthcare, and arts. So, unlike industries like technology boosts efficiency, we have example of the manufacturing, these sectors face inherent limits to doing more with less, forcing costs to rise as they compete for workers in a productivity-driven economy. But then, so how it works. So we're gonna try to understand this mental model by not just kind of understanding that exists this pattern, but trying to explain. So why and how does this work? So we have first point, productivity growth inequality. So high productivity sectors, we have some of these like tech, manufacturing, automation, innovation, allow workers to produce more output per hour, justifying so wage increases. But we have the low type of productivity sectors like teaching and nursing. Output per worker grows slowly. A teacher can't automate a classroom. So it's basically we make a division in economy by sectors. We have ones that we have more type of innovations over the time. That's so something that we get. So we have more type of technology that evolves and then so can make us be able so to kind of improve the efficiency of our work, but we have other ones that it's much harder to get it. And it's so what we call the low productivity sectors. The output per hour it increases, but just much more slower in comparison with the tech type of industry where does this apply. And then so we have given example of a teacher that can automate the classroom, but yet the wages must rise to match other sectors or workers leave. So it's the allocation of capital. So what's the capital goes? The capital always going to flow for where is it creates more revenue. And obviously so people praise what? People praise where they receive more, where they receive more conditions. And then so what do these people that so see that some other sectors, people that works with tax and manufacturing, they see their wages increasing, obviously so they will as well tend to flow. But the economy is made and is needed to have people that work with nursing, with teaching. And then so what does it create? This type of increase is much probably much more with like the tendency or is getting ruled by the offer and demand. So the demand is a lot. And then so to maintain the demand, to maintain so getting satisfying demand with some essential sectors, I have so to increase the conditions to offer so exist in high quantity. So I have to create incentives for people to work in that sectors. But then so how I make competitions with other sectors that they receive much more wages because their technology and evolution happens much faster. Like I said, examples of automation and other types of tech industries. And then so how I can compensate them? I increase a lot of the wages, and then so I kind of have a tendency that the wages that these people most kind of receive is more something determined by how scarce is the offering that exists for people to do that work in comparison. So with the people that demand, in comparison with other sectors, that their wage is much more representative of the real value that they aggregate. So it's like the wages are different representations of value that you can get. So you can be scarce or you can be valuable, real value. And obviously with that, I'm not saying that people in low productivity sectors that I give example, they're not valuable, but what they produce don't match the wages that they get. The wages is more like their levels because it's something that helps to create incentives so for people maintain in that sector and go for that sector. So with that said, 2. A wage price spiral. To retain talent, schools and hospitals raise salaries, but without productivity gains. These costs are passed to consumers. And then so we have examples, the tuition hikes, a pricier of care that people face a lot today. So obviously when things get expensive, but obviously so if it doesn't mean that they're aggregating more value and it does with productivity, I have always to get profit, and then so I make the products that I do more expensive, more type of artificial what is the real value that they aggregate, and then so we have a lot of pricier type of offering from that sectors. So 3, the disease. The costs balloon even as service quality stagnates. Society pays more for the same outcomes. So, real world examples. Higher education, college tuition has outpaced inflation for decades. Why? Professor salaries must compete with tech, engineering sectors, even though class sizes haven't shrunk. Healthcare, a surgeon can perform twice as many operations without risking patient safety. Yet, hospitals raise prices to match salaries in high productivity fields. We have in live arts as well, a string quartet takes the same time to play Beethoven in 2023 as in 1023. Ticket prices soar to pay musicians competitive wages. Public service as well. Garbage collection costs rise because sanitation workers' wages follow trends in manufacturing, even though trucks and roads haven't changed much. So it's basically increasing the price to make it things have more incentives for so not having a health balance demand and supply. But this doesn't mean it's like markets that doesn't have that much of competition because neither a lot of people will so want to go for the markets in comparison with other ones, and then so they still receive good amount of money in comparison with other markets, but because it's more like inflation by so them being rare, and then so I have to get more type of power in the offer side. I have to give the offering by being low, it has more power, so they can kind of require more for their services. So why it matters? Budget crisis, governments struggle to fund schools and hospitals as costs spiral. Inequality, only the healthy can afford privatized solution. We have so the boutique healthcare, private tutors, stagnant innovation, resources funnel into maintain existing systems, not improving them. So, but then that we have declared, we have to see all the problem, but then so how to face it, how to have solutions. So 1, public subsidies. Accept that sectors like education and healthcare will never be efficient and fund them through taxes. So free community college and universal healthcare. So public subsidies as a way, just accepting so you just have constantly provide subsidies to make so them work even if they're not efficient. We have other type of solutions like other type of partial fixes, tech hybrid models, blend in-person and digital services like online lectures for basic courses, in-person labs. So it's kind of making automation having so tax that you have to pay less so to them to work, and them so not having inflationary wages. Policy prioritization treat these sectors as critical infrastructure and not profit centers. So this tendency to make it public and not private. So you understand that they're not like something that you want to create some type of profit. And labor redistribution, train paraprofessionals, nurse practitioners, teaching assistants to handle routine tasks, freeing experts for complex work. So I expect this video has make you gain insight. I expect this was enough so to make you like this channel, put a like, subscribe it, and see other videos that may trigger your interest. Without much more to say, thank you and see you in the next one.